Before we start, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more real and touching, emotional stories that stay with you and make you see life from a different angle. Your support truly matters, so don't forget to like, comment, and share this story all the way to the end. Now let me take you back to a morning that began like any other, but slowly turned into a moment that changed everything for me. I can still remember it clearly. It wasn't meant to be an extraordinary day, just another simple, predictable morning in my quiet life. But life has its own way of shifting without warning, and you only understand it when you look back later. That morning, I woke up the same way I always did. The clock beside my bed was ticking softly, and sunlight slipped gently through the slightly drawn curtains. I made myself a cup of strong black coffee just the way I always liked it, and stood near the window for a moment. Everything outside looked peaceful, almost unnaturally calm. Birds hopped along the fence in the garden, and somewhere down the street, the neighbor's dog let out a distant bark. Yet inside me, there was only silence, an emptiness that had slowly settled in over the years. I was 59, though I often pretended I didn't feel that number. I exercised, looked after my skin, and kept telling myself that time hadn't dimmed the parts of me that once felt bright. But mirrors don't lie. They show the truth even when we wish they wouldn't. Every morning I would catch my own reflection and quietly remind myself, you're still here. You're still strong. But beneath that strength lived a loneliness I rarely admitted. Then came Anthony. The first time I saw him, he was nothing more than the delivery boy, polite, upbeat, carrying an energy that made life seem lighter. He couldn't have been older than 23, maybe 24. And yet every time he stopped at my door with those brown packages bearing my name, something inside me shifted. A small warmth, a spark I hadn't felt in years. Maybe it was the easy way he smiled, or the youthful tone in his voice that filled the air effortlessly, a kind of innocence, a quiet reminder of days that felt easier. Whatever it truly was, I began ordering things I had no real use for, books I knew I wouldn't open, candles that would never be lit, little pieces of home decor that stayed untouched in their boxes just for the sound of the doorbell and the sight of him standing there. I kept insisting to myself that it was harmless, nothing more than curiosity. But deep inside, I knew it wasn't about the parcels. It was about feeling connected to someone again. That afternoon, the weather shifted suddenly. Heavy clouds swept across the sky, the air thick with the promise of rain. I stepped out to check the mail, and there he was, Anthony, riding through the neighborhood on his motorbike. He spotted me and lifted his hand in a cheerful wave, wearing that familiar bright smile. But before I could wave back, his tires slipped on the slick pavement. My heart lurched as the bike slid out from under him. "Anthony!" I cried, my purse falling from my hands as I rushed toward him. He was lying on the ground, grimacing, his knee and elbow scraped raw. For a second, everything around us seemed to stop. I saw the pain tightening his face, the uncertainty in his eyes. Then he looked up at me and managed a faint, shaky smile. "Judith, I'm fine. Really, it's nothing." But the tremble in his voice said otherwise. "Don't be foolish," I said, breathless yet firm. "You're injured. Come inside. Let me help." He hesitated, maybe embarrassed, but I wasn't going to let him brush it off. I helped him to his feet and guided him gently back toward my front door, both of us damp from the rain that had just begun to fall. Inside. I settled him onto the couch and hurried to grab my old first aid kit. My hands were unsteady. I told myself it was adrenaline, though I knew there was more to it. As I knelt in front of him and began cleaning his cuts, I noticed everything: the faint scar near his wrist, the scent of rain clinging to his jacket, the way his expression softened when he murmured, "I'm sorry for causing you trouble." "Troubling me?" I shot back, trying to sound stern, though a smile tugged at my lips. "You think I'm going to